Ohio versus James Walsh, case number 23-CR367. The defendant is present with counsel Kelly Zacharias. We're here today for sentencing. We were last before you on July 20th, 2023 for a change of plea where the defendant pled guilty to count 1, possession of a fentanyl-related compound. A PSR and drug and alcohol evaluation were ordered and has since been completed. The defendant has 29 days of jail time credit, and at this time the state would ask that count 2 be dismissed. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Zacharias.
Thank you, Your Honor. We are here for sentencing today. Some events have transpired since the last time we were here. Mr. Walsh did test positive after the change of plea with him for a drug test, and he was charged with an OVI from an incident that occurred back in May. We've discussed briefly the possibility of treatment. He would like to go home, get his affairs in order. He rents his place. His dad is having bladder surgery in a few days. He'd like to pay some bills, help his dad out, and then he would be amenable to a treatment program. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Walsh, what do you want to tell me?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. First thing, I'd like to apologize to the court for even having to be here today. It's not an excuse or anything. As my attorney addressed the court a minute ago, my father is having his bladder removed in a few days. He's fighting cancer, and I'm behind on a couple little bills. I have the money. I would like to pay them, and I would, if the court recommends treatment, I would definitely report freely and willingly. I am not of any, how can I put it, Your Honor, ma'am?
Flight risk?
Flight risk at all, sir. I just need to get a few affairs in order and make sure my father's 80. He's all I got. I lost my wife a few years back. My father's he's my soul. Again, I apologize for even having to waste the court's time to be here today, sir.
Well, you're here.
Yes,
so,
sir.
I sense that something was wrong here when you pled, because you didn't seem to be all there.
Okay.
And you were high, right?
No, when I came into court, I wasn't using, but I was probably scared.
Well, but you tested positive for fentanyl.
Okay, that wasn't my desire. I was trying to use cocaine.
Okay, well...
Yes, sir. No disrespect.
You don't really think you have a problem, right?
I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how to answer, sir.
Well,
I
get that conclusion from what you said.
Can I say something, sir? Being through all this, and I didn't do anything for 10 years, I could walk out of this courtroom today and never turn to another drug.
Then why did you?
You know, and there's no excuse whatsoever, Your Honor. My wife's anniversary is July 31st. I found out my dad had cancer about 6 months ago. I just kind of went off the rails a little bit. There's no justification to it, Your Honor. Zero. None. I got a good job. I'm a union pipe fitter. I paid my bills. I just went off track for a little bit, and I'm damn sorry for it now.
Well, you got to be in court tomorrow, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For what?
One of the charges of that file, they attached an OVI to it. And my license was good for 20 years. Now it's going to be suspended.
What are the other charges?
I'm not sure.
I believe the possession of drugs, Your Honor.
It was an F5.
Okay. Well, you were supposed to go to court on August 16th. Right?
Yes, sir. I was incarcerated, Your Honor.
I know that, but they came to get you to take you, and you wouldn't get out of your cell.
That's not true.
Well, it is true.
Okay.
So they never came to get you to take you to court?
You know what, Your Honor? You said August 16th.
Right.
I'm going to back up. I don't want to disrespect you at all. On my wristband here, August 16th, I was brought to the hospital. I had kidney failure.
Okay. Call Bowen.
Yes.
Find out what's what. I'll be back.
Thank you, sir.
So the problem with you is that as soon as you get the chance to get loose, you're grabbing drugs.
No, Your Honor.
No, yes, you are, okay? Because because you were out on bond here, and when you came here to plead, you had, that was July 20th, you had benzodiazepine, whatever the hell it is, opiates, fentanyl.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
You had that in your system. And then you're out there after a warrant was out, and you get arrested, and you got charges in Willoughby, one of them including a felony 5 drug offense. So you keep grabbing drugs wherever you can when you get out. Now, what did you want to say?
Your Honor, any of the drugs that are besides the cocaine, fentanyl, are false positives. I took some Advil PMs.
Is that how you tested positive for benzo?
I was at Yukon Meridia Hospital the day before, the 19th of the 19th of July. Yukon Meridia. I didn't take any benzos outside of, that's just not my MO, sir. It doesn't look like
But you
that.
tested positive for them.
Yes, sir, I believe I was given that in Yukon Meridia Hospital, Your Honor.
What were you given?
Benzo.
What was the medication?
I'm not sure, but I did go to Yukon Meridia on July 19th, the day before I had court.
For what?
I went in there, I says, hey, I'm trying to get off drugs. Can we do a drug screen? And, I says, I'm feeling a little antsy because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And I was there approximately 6 hours, Your Honor. And they did give me a benzo. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Then when I asked you the question on the 20th, in the last 48 hours, have you taken any drugs or alcohol or any prescription medication? Why did you tell me no? If you were taking it the day before at the hospital.
You know what? I'm not sure, Your Honor. All I could say is I was probably scared. That's all I could say. I'm not trying to BS you in any way, shape, or form.
Yes, you are.
Oh,
Because that's what you do. And you did it in the context of this pre-sentence report. Because when you were asked to give your written version of what happened...
Your Honor?
Wait.
I'm sorry.
You said you did a couple of blows and fell out. Now, what the hell does that mean? A couple of blows and fell out.
Can I elaborate?
Yeah, I want to know what that means.
I did a blow, what I thought was cocaine in my car, and I parked in McDonald's.
Right.
And
what does fell out mean?
you just,
Okay, this is,
Your Honor?
these are phrases that
I'm sorry.
that fentanyl users that overdose
Oh.
regularly use.
I never overdosed in my life.
Okay, I'm just telling you
Yes, sir.
where I hear that phrase.
Okay, I kind of heard it in the jail and stuff, where I fell asleep in the,
Well, you weren't in the jail at the time you said that. Okay?
No, I'm
You
just
were-
saying, you hear,
I know.
no, again, no disrespect, I fell asleep in my car.
Stop saying no disrespect.
Because I don't want to.
Okay.
I fell
And then-
asleep in my car.
I know you did. I know how the offense happened, okay? My interest was your choice of language, that you did a couple of blows and fell out, okay? Now, when you were asked to provide your version during the pre-sentence interview, when asked if you need treatment, because you said this was stupid, is what it was, okay? When you asked if you need treatment to avoid future stupidity, you replied that you think you can make your own treatment. I am not a head person and not comfortable getting deep. Defendant would ask the court to sentence him to time served and let him go home, advising that the court will not see him again. So I don't think you have any concept of the peril you're in from your activity.
Can I elaborate, sir?
Yeah.
On the pre-sentence investigation, apparently I wasn't real elaborate or deep of what actually happened. I don't recall asking for a written statement of what actually happened.
Well, you wrote it.
Okay,
And one thing you wrote at the beginning of it was, "To whom it may concern,
okay.
one day I was off enjoying myself and a female friend of mine suggested we obtain some cocaine, which we did.
Yes, sir.
However, this wasn't what I thought it was supposed to be. After making plans with her, I dropped her off and went to McDonald's." Okay. So,
That's when I was left.
so it's really, you wouldn't have done this but for the female, right?
We're doing it together.
I know. She got you something that you didn't know what it was. You thought it was just cocaine.
Then I was sleeping.
Right, you thought it was just cocaine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long you been doing cocaine?
On and off for some years, and like I said, in the last 6 months. Again, there's no justification to it, Your Honor.
I know there's no justification. The question is whether you're ever gonna stop. I mean, there's two ways you're gonna stop. You're
Yes,
either
sir.
gonna decide you're gonna stop with the help of some clue about treatment, or you're gonna be dead. Those are the only two ways you're gonna stop.
Can I elaborate, sir? Myself, I'm 53 years old. I've been through a lot. I don't even want to do any drugs. I want to go back to work. I want to take care of my home, and I want to take care of my father. He's all I have in this life.
Well, didn't you wanna do that before, 2 months ago?
Before what?
Before 2 months ago when this happened, didn't you wanna do that?
Well, you know
But
what?
you didn't do it.
Your Honor, I didn't hear the last thing you said, sir.
I said, but you didn't do it.
I went to the McDonald's, sir, and I fell asleep.
I know.
I was off my game, Your Honor, and I apologize deeply, man. Excuse the phrase.
Okay, that's all well and good, except what's gonna change with you?
What's going to change is life's too short. Life's
Right.
too short. I
But-
can't. Hey, you know what?
But 6 months ago, it was too short too, right?
Yeah.
You were doing all this stuff.
Yeah,
You know
but-
why you're doing it? 'Cause you can't stop doing it.
No, that's not true.
It is true. You've
right.
demonstrated that that's true.
No disrespect, sir.
Don't say that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't stop
Okay.
saying no disrespect,
Because
okay?
I don't want to.
I don't take any disrespect from anything you're telling me,
All
okay?
right. I just don't want to act in any kind of way where you think I'm conveying disrespect to you. I have nothing but disrespect.
I don't think you're conveying disrespect. I think that you're somewhat delusional in thinking you don't have a problem when every objective indicator says that you have a problem.
Yes, sir.
And the question is whether you're gonna do anything about it, or whether you're gonna go out there and, you know, you seem to like this cocaine stuff, okay, but there's all kinds of fentanyl in cocaine, right? There's all kinds of fentanyl in pills,
Everything.
okay?
Didn't,
And so you keep conducting yourself the way you're conducting yourself, and you're gonna end up dead. There's no question about that.
yes, sir.
So the solution is for you not to go back over to the jail and go home. That's not the solution. That's the problem. That's setting you up for dead.
I just don't want to, when I am released, walk out to have nothing.
Well, if you walk out now, okay, then you'll have dead. That's what you'll have.
I disagree with you, Your Honor.
Well, you can disagree all you want, okay, but I'm looking at your history, and I'm not talking about when you were 30, I'm talking about in the last couple of months.
Yes, sir. I just, I tried.
Where do you get your cocaine?
Off the street?
What, it's just laying on the street if I walk out to
No,
Erie?
I just
Where?
gotta make a few calls. It's getting harder, actually.
Okay, no, it ain't getting harder. You,
I mean-
where do you go to get it?
Cleveland.
Where? You ever go to the BP on 185th and Neff? You ever go there to get it?
No.
It's not hard to get. You can pull up to the gas pump and somebody will walk right up to you. So don't tell me it's hard to get, okay? I'm not an idiot. All right.
Again, no,
Okay.
I'm not trying to,
Guy today was telling me about a Holmes in 152nd where he gets 140th and Lakeshore. You can get it anywhere.
I just went around the MLK area. what I
Okay.
was familiar with.
So you can get it. You can get it anytime you want to get it. And you don't need to go to Cleveland to get it. You can go a block down this way and you can get it just as easy. You go up to the gas station near 84 and you can get it right up there. Okay? So don't tell me it's getting harder to get. Okay?
I just-
Don't bullshit me, man.
I'm not trying to.
Okay?
I'm not trying to, Your Honor.
Okay, yes you are.
Oh, man.
You are. You are.
Can I elaborate one more time?
Yeah.
I know it's probably not gonna happen, but I just wanted to be there for my pop. And he's getting his bladder removed in a couple of days. I just got an enormous
Okay.
amount of bills to pay. I do have the money. I'm a good saver, but I just,
I know, but you're no good to your pop dead either. And I don't think you have the first clue about where you're at in your life.
I know where I'm
And
at.
it's a damn shame because you can go out there and earn a very good living. And you have earned a very good living, okay?
I
But
do.
you're screwing it up, and you're screwing up your existence on earth with your activities.
Sorry to this court, Your Honor.
Ms. Bell?
Thank you, Your Honor. It's abundantly clear that the defendant needs treatment. And it's discouraging that while this case has been pending, the defendant committed another offense while out in bond on this case. It's discouraging all the positive tests that we have. And I find it extremely troubling that when the defendant does use drugs, he's out in public, in his car, behind the wheel, potentially putting himself at risk and everybody else who's out on the road that day at risk. However, the state doesn't believe that prison would be appropriate in this case, so the state would ask for community control sanctions to include JTP. Thank you.
All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report, the drug and alcohol evaluation. I've listened to you, I've listened to counsel. I've considered all provisions in 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. Put you on community control for 3 years. You're going to serve 74 days in jail with credit for 29. The last 30 days are going to be in a jail treatment program. You're going to complete that and follow all recommendations. You'd have no drugs or alcohol, and you'll be screened. You're to attend at least 3 AA meetings a week and get a sponsor. You're to utilize only one doctor, one dentist, and one pharmacist for prescription medication. If you are prescribed medication, you're to take it only as prescribed. You're to sign releases for probation, obtain full employment, and pay the costs and fees. You understand the terms?
Yes, sir.
If you don't comply, the state will file a motion to terminate your community control. If I find you violated, I'll terminate you and you face 12 months in prison. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
If that happens, when you get out, you might be on post-release control for up to 2 years under the parole authority with conditions. If you violate the conditions, parole authority could return you to prison for up to 9 months for each violation, up to 1/2 of my sentence. If that violation is a new felony, you could get an additional consecutive prison sentence for that violation. The maximum sentence would be the greater of 12 months or the time they have left under post-release control. The remaining count is dismissed. Anything else, Ms. Bell?
Just a forfeiture, Your Honor.
Forfeiture to the state. Ms. Zacharias, anything else?
So, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, we're adjourned.